Have you ever had that sinking feeling when you flip through the LSAT logical reasoning section and realize you're already behind on time? Or maybe you've read the same argument 3 times, but you still don't know what's the conclusion and what's the evidence. If you've experienced that frustration, you are not alone. Many students believe the only way to succeed on the LSAT is to grind through endless practice, memorizing every detail they can. But the truth is, the LSAT doesn't reward brute force, it rewards strategy. So today, I'm going to share with you a 30-second logical reasoning hack that can instantly boost your score. This strategy has helped my students go from feeling overwhelmed and rushed to confident and in control, all without spending extra hours studying. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, repeatable process that can save you valuable time on every single question. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now let's talk about why logical reasoning often trips up students. First is pacing. You have about an average of 1:25 per question, and that doesn't account for tough questions that might take a bit longer. If you don't have a system, you're going to run out of time. Secondly is the mental fatigue factor. You've got about 25 questions, each one has a stimulus, a question stem, and 5 answer choices, so your brain can get overloaded fast. You might also experience tunnel vision, where you don't realize that the question's asking something different than what you initially expected. These pitfalls lead to wasted time and second guessing, and you might find yourself frantically guessing on the last handful of questions. That's exactly why you need a structured approach that is both quick and accurate. So today, I'm going to share with you a 3-step process: preview, purpose, predict, that takes just about 30 seconds to execute, but it can transform your entire approach to logical reasoning. Let's walk through each step. First is preview, takes only 5 seconds. Glance at the question stem first. Before you touch the stimulus, read the stem to see what task you'll be doing. Are you looking for a flaw, a necessary assumption, a strengthener, or an inference? Then set your mental framework. If you know what the question wants, that's going to help you filter the information in the stimulus. For example, if you see a question stem like, which one of the following is an assumption required by the argument, you will instantly know you need to find the gap that is absolutely necessary for the logic to hold. So, by previewing the question stem, you won't waste time reading the stimulus in the wrong context. You'll be able to immediately zero in on the relevant structure once you move on to the next step. The second step is purpose, which takes about 10 seconds. This is where you identify the argument's objective. Once you know what's being asked based on the question stem, you then go to the stimulus. You ask yourself, is the author trying to persuade me of something, in which case it's an argument, or is this a fact set without any conclusion? If it's an argument, look for conclusion indicator words like thus, therefore, hence, and so. Then ID the key pieces of support. Then assess the tone. Sometimes an argument might have a strong viewpoint or a more tentative one. If you recognize the tone or the attitude, that will give you insight into the argument's assumptions or weaknesses. And you only need about 10 seconds to get the gist of what's the main claim or how's the author backing it up. This is the foundation for the next step, because once you know the structure, you can quickly figure out how to attack or support it depending on the question type. The final step is predict. Takes about 15 seconds. This is where you formulate your expected answer, because now that you know the question type and the structure, you'll be able to predict what the right answer will be. Of course, consider the gap. Every argument has a gap, whether we view it as an assumption or as a weakness. If it's a strengthening question, think to yourself, what kind of evidence would close the gap? If it's a flaw question, consider what logical error is the author making. Then create a mental template. If you can form a rough idea of the correct answer, you won't get thrown off by tempting but irrelevant answer choices. Now here's why this matters. When you look at the answer choices without a prediction, you're vulnerable to all sorts of traps. Choices that might sound logical, but don't match the question, or ones that repeat part of the stimulus, but don't actually solve the problem. If you have a prediction in mind, you'll be ready to spot the correct option more quickly, even if it's worded in a tricky way. Now here's how this saves you time while also increasing your accuracy. First, it saves time. It only takes 30 seconds. It dramatically improves both your speed and accuracy because it gives you immediate focus. You're tackling the question with a sense of direction. Instead of reading the stimulus blindly, you already know what you need to find. It also helps you streamline your reading of the stimulus because you're not rereading it multiple times. You have a framework from the start, so your reading is more purposeful. And because you've predicted the right answer, you can more easily eliminate choices that don't fit your prediction, saving you valuable time. Now, here's a quick word on mindset using this 30-second hack. You got to remember that success on the LSAT isn't just about memorizing question types. It is about developing a consistent, methodical approach so test day feels more like muscle memory than guesswork. The preview, purpose, predict method is powerful because it can be applied to every single logical reasoning question. Once it becomes second nature for you, you'll find the section no longer feels like an insurmountable mountain. Now, the choices on the LSAT are famously deceptive. They often use jargon to confuse you, they include partial truths that don't fully address the argument's gap, and they'll reference the same topic as the stimulus, but fail to address the conclusion. But when you predict your answer beforehand, you'll be far less tempted by these tracks. You'll know to look for the core logic each answer choice offers you and how well it matches your prediction. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, I need more strategies like this one to polish my timing, my accuracy, and my confidence on the LSAT, keep in mind that at LSAT Unplugged, we offer coaching services that walk you through every major LSAT skill, from logical reasoning to reading comp, in a way that is tailored to your specific strengths and weaknesses. My team and I help students improve by 10, 20, even 30 points on their official LSAT. Now, to make the preview, purpose, predict method second nature, you're going to need the right practice strategy. First, targeted drills, where you take a single question type and apply only these 3 steps. Focus on the quality of your preview, purpose, and predict, rather than just getting the questions right. Then, secondly, time your steps. Again, aim for 5 seconds on the preview, 10 seconds on the purpose, and 15 seconds on the prediction. You might take a bit longer at first, and that's okay, but your speed and precision will improve with repetition. Finally, review in depth. After answering each question, look at what went right and what went wrong. Did you correctly ID the conclusion? And did your prediction align with the right answer, or were you off? Remember, practicing is what cements the strategy. Once you're comfortable, you could then test your timing in sections or full-length exams. Now, one of the keys to success on the LSAT is also accountability. It is easy to tell yourself you'll do a session daily, but of course, life always gets in the way. So if you find yourself skipping your practice sessions or not analyzing your mistakes thoroughly, consider working with one of our coaches at LSAT Unplugged, because having someone who can guide you keeps you on track and makes sure you apply the 30-second hack correctly every single time. Now, of course, logical reasoning is going to be the section that typically separates the top scorers from the rest, but by implementing the preview, purpose, predict method, you're not just saving time, you're also building a rock-solid understanding of the test maker's logic. You'll never again feel lost when you see a brand new complex argument. You'll stop falling for trap answers that sound plausible, but don't directly address the question, and you'll find that your confidence soars, making it easier to push through tough questions without wasting mental energy. The LSAT is a test of how well you studied for it, and it rewards those who study smart, not just study hard. With the 30-second hack, you're well on your way to boosting your score and unlocking the law school acceptances you've been dreaming of. If this has been helpful, again, you could check out the links below to find out more about getting more personalized help on your journey to 170+. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.